So many barbers have so much trouble when it comes to deciding their price, knowing when to raise prices, and most of them just completely get it wrong. I talk to dozens and dozens of barbers every single day, and 99% of them have absolutely no idea on how they can effectively raise prices in their business and charge more so that they can make more money. In this video, I'm going to be breaking down for you guys the three biggest things that prevent barbers from scaling their prices and the three things that kind of prevented me in the past from actually scaling to $100 a cut. And after fixing these things, not only was I able to go from $40 a cut to $100 a cut in just a couple months, but I was able to help people like Larry, David, and Seth do it themselves as well. So without further ado, let's just get straight into the video. Make sure you guys have a pen and paper and ready to take notes. Let's get it. What do you do, YouTube? In this video, I'm gonna kind of go over for you guys like literally just the three biggest things, the biggest limiting factors on why I wasn't able to raise prices in the past as a barber, and why most of you guys still aren't able to raise prices right now. And for context, I now charge $100 per haircut and have helped both David and Larry and dozens of other barbers scale. David went from $45 a cut to $100 a cut in 5 months. Larry went from $40 a cut to $100 a cut in 4 months. And Yusuf was able to go from $40 a cut to $80 a cut in 5 months. And typically the way most barbers go about raising prices and the way I did in the past, right, was I was just emotionally raising prices, right? Every time I felt like the time was right or that I just kind of wanted to raise prices just for the sake of raising them, right? It was just, there was no strategy behind it, right? I feel like I'm worth more, right? That's the biggest thing you hear people say. And that's what I thought too, right? I was like, well, I've been cutting for, extra 6 months. Maybe it's time to just go up on price now because it's been another 6 months of me cutting hair. Therefore, I should raise my price. I feel like I have the experience now to charge more. And the thing about pricing is it's not always based on your product, right? Having a good product and a good service is really important, and it's a super huge part of running your barber business. But at the end of the day, what determines price is not only the quality of your product, but supply, demand, and marketing, right? And that's where a lot of you guys are kind of going wrong. And again, so where I went wrong in the past. I thought by having the best product, that meant that I would be able to charge the highest prices. And that's just simply not the case. Because if it was, you'd see dozens and dozens of other barbers, these random unknown barbers that are really, really good at cutting, and see them charging 100 a cut, right? And they simply just can't. Most barbers kind of raise prices with no real strategy, and they just do like $10, $5 bumps, right, every now and then, and just kind of hope and pray that they maintain majority of their clientele. And what this leads them to being in is it leads them to literally just maintaining their current income very, very, very slowly growing. I mean, when you're doing $10 price increases, you can only, increase your income at such a rapid rate. And the thing with all of this is there's literally like no testing at all. It's literally just completely guessing, right? The bottom line is barbers like to raise prices based off emotions and not cold hard data, right? So instead, what can actually help you to raise prices the right way is to start thinking like a business owner. Price raising is almost like an experiment because you're going to be testing to see which clients actually value, right? And with those people who stay, you're going to know what to double down on. You're going to know exactly what problem you solve and how to do more of it. You're going to keep using these results to continue improving, right? You're not charging a super high price just for, one haircut. You're charging it for a problem that is being solved. And once you raise prices and kind of see who sticks around and feel really value for the problems that you solve and not just because you charge a low price. The second thing that is the biggest issue, right, is that again, most barbers just feel so attached to their clients that they feel like they're kind of like betraying them, right? And like what this does is when they feel like they're betraying the clients by raising prices, everyone says you can't mix, friends and business, right? And so what this does is you become so attached to the clients that you feel like you need to give them discounts. You feel like they're, you're betraying them by raising prices, whatever the case might be. And this kind of leads most barbers to being stuck in like this fear trap where they don't want to raise prices because they're so afraid of just losing clients. And again, the biggest thing you have to realize is that raising prices means losing clients, and losing clients is actually a help thing for our business because it allows us to be able to grow. When you're staying in this like fear trap of not wanting to raise prices, it's just too emotional, right? Your business should never be attached to like, I can't raise prices because I'm afraid to lose clients. The truth is here, like clients leaving is actually giving us information. It's giving us information on if people with a certain haircut or certain hair problem are leaving. That's good, right? And the ones that stay, we know exactly what we fix. We know what their common problem is, and we master that one skill set. Because at the end of the day, we're scaling to market one skill set. We're scaling to charge a high ticket price to market one skill set as a barber and to solve one problem, whether that's fixing receding lineups, right? Fixing like weak hairlines, or whether it's turning flat hair into straight and textured hair. Whatever that problem is, right? We're focused on just that one specialty and scaling it up and charging a really high ticket price just to solve that one problem. right? The thing is, not only do you learn who values your work when the clients leave, but you're also, being able to actually open up more spots. And it's something that nobody really talks about, right? The barber's going up on price because he's booked out like weeks and weeks and weeks in advance, right? He actually has no space to book in new clients, right? And because you have no new clients at the business, that means you can't grow, right? That's why I always say like the sweet spot that you're aiming for is like 85% booked, right? Because it still allows 1 to 2 spots a day that aren't taken for new clients to book in, right? But it's not to the point where you're not making any money. So when you raise prices, you need to ask yourself, what is a big enough gap where you're going to get to that 85% mark, the sweet spot, to where you can allow your business to grow, but you're also not going to lose 100% of your clientele. And typically this doesn't mean like going up by $5 or $10. It typically means like 15 to 25, even $30 jumps, right? Just to free up more spaces and actually open up more spots for potential new high paying clients that value your worth more. And probably the third reason why most barbers just literally refuse to raise their prices is because they just have beliefs about how much they could charge, right? People will blame their location, people will blame their barbershop, people will blame any reason why they can't just raise their prices, right? But at the end of the day, lower price means you need more clients, right? You need more clients at $30 than the guy who's charging $100 to make the same amount of money, right? So at the end of the day, if you get really good at solving one problem, you don't need to be still cutting 50 heads a week just to make a decent living, right? The amount of people out there you have to find and seek out is less. So what's really easier? It's like, would you rather just, because like kind of what I realized is like, I would rather find 5 people willing to pay 100 than to have to find, 10 people willing to pay 50. And when barbers trying to price themselves competitively and just be the cheapest option, right? It's typically not really the best thing for business, right? You don't want to be the barber that's out here competing with everyone else on who can go the lowest on price, right? You want to be the one that's competing on value, who can solve the problem the best, right? And who can deliver the best, value. And then also who has the best marketing, right? And whoever does that, you'll be able to put yourself in a whole new like category of pricing versus a guy that's just competing with people on price to see who can go the lowest. Because what happens when you keep going, who can go the lowest, you're stuck literally just in a race to the bottom, right? Higher prices just means you need better marketing, right? Again, literally just one problem you solve, whether that's fixing beards, hairlines, right? The texture of somebody's hair, shear work, styling. You're marketing one skill set and you're mastering that problem completely. And then that message of what problem you solve becomes crystal clear within your content, right? People should instantly look at your page and know exactly what problem you solve. This way you can ideally attract one niche, one ideal client, right? And then fix that problem and charge a lot of money for it to all these other clients, right? Because they all have one common problem that you're charging a high price for. And again, this is just going to allow you to scale so much better than the guy who's trying to take in every single client for as cheap as they can. And it really just comes down to this, right? First, you raise prices and your clients leave, right? This is going to free up your business. It's going to put you at like that 85% booked mark and allow you space for new clients to come in, right? So when these clients leave, the new ones come in. And when the new clients come in, you get to see the pattern of what are these people looking for? What haircut are they getting, right? And this is why ideally you take data and you look at your numbers. What haircut are they getting, right? What problem do they need that's being solved? This is going to let you know what you need to double down on, right? You can even reverse engineer this and you can make your marketing, right? Your content be the thing that attracts the clients in the first place, right? You can almost flip it. Once you find out what it is you need to master, you just get really, really good at that one skill set. Again, it could be beards, it could be styling, it could be scissor work, it could be whatever the case. And then you just double down and just market it really, really well. And this means that your marketing should clearly not only display like the after, but it should display the entire process of how you took the client from their current, old state of struggling with the problem to how you as a professional solved their problem and were the solution to their problem. Therefore, people should pay you a lot of money for you to solve the same problem that the client in the video had. And lastly, once you start getting all these new clients and you can scale both on pricing and on volume, right? Once you get booked out, you just rinse and repeat this process until you're like 85% booked out. This way you can continue to get more new higher paying clients to the business that are willing to pay higher prices. This is the same process that Larry used to go from $40 a cut to $100 a cut in 4 months by specializing specifically right on covering big foreheads, turning flat hair into textured hair, right? David did the same thing. He specialized in beards and shear work and was able to go from being just a jack of all trades OG barber to being the $120 barber in just 5 months, right? Same thing with Yusuf. He was taking in every single type of haircut. And again, he just focused on styling curly hair, right? And just getting really, really good at that one skill. And then he was able to double his haircut prices as a 17-year-old in just 5 months. And at the end of the day, right, it's just about the value you can provide when it comes to solving the problem that a client's going to have with their hair. So that's pretty much the end of the video, guys. Hopefully you guys found some type of value out of it. Now, if you guys want to know exactly how I got these results for people like Larry, Chunk, Seth, right, and myself, just go ahead, click the link down below, right, book a call right here to see if we could help you guys out. You guys already know the results we have. I don't need to say much more. We'll see you guys inside.